I spent over $1 million of my own money on ads to figure out this one simple system that predictably scales coaches. And it's generated me over $8 million without having to post content every day, not stuck on the content hamster wheel, and not desperately chasing leads and begging prospects to work with me. And today, I'm gonna show you exactly how I did it. I'm gonna break down every single KPI. I'm gonna show you the system. I'm gonna show you inside the ads manager. No BS, just raw numbers and the actual playbook. And I don't have any fancy presentation. I just put all this together in a Google Doc because if you implement this and watch this, you can get some really crazy results. So here's the proof, screenshot from one of my ad accounts. I have over 12 of these, but here's one where we spent $1.4 million. And here is a screenshot of the actual KPIs that came through from there. So 1.4 million in ad spend, 4.1x ROAS on cash, 6 million, and then revenue, we had a 5.5, so $8 million off of $1.4 million in ad spend. And the really cool thing is we got a ton of data on here. Over 3,400 sales calls booked, over 2,000 shown with an 84% show rate and an average close rate of 31%. And keep in mind, this is all cold traffic. So if you're not used to running ads to cold traffic, closing cold traffic is way different than it is closing warm traffic. And I'm going to break it down and show you all of it. And the best part behind all this is all of this was done under one Instagram profile. We spent $1.4 million and generated $8 million in revenue from one Instagram profile. So there's really only two possible outcomes from this video. One, you see the full breakdown, you take notes and you go implement it yourself. The second one is you realize that you'd rather just shortcut the process and have me and my team do it with you or for you. Either way, you win. I'm going to literally pull behind the curtains and show you everything. So you can go and implement it yourself. And if you want more help and you want us to do it, we can do that as well. Now, before we get started, just to show you proof, it's not just me making millions of dollars on Instagram. I send out awards to my clients for hitting 50 and 100K plus months. So I'm just going to pull this up and go through some of them because there's quite a bit, to be honest with you. Here's Ava, 50K a month award that we sent her. Here's Sky, 50K a month award that we sent him. He's a junk removal coach. He's a holistic health coach. We've got an e-com coach, a 50K a month and 100K a month award. A real estate coach, 100K a month. Credit repair coach, 100K a month, and they actually made over $1 million. We've actually just started sending out this award, and we've already sent over 5 in the last month for clients that we've helped make over $1 million. This is Justin Johnson. He is a software sales coach. We helped him get to 50K a month and 100K a month, and we actually just sent him an award for $1 million as well. Fitness coach, health and biz coach, e-com coach, fitness coach. He's doing over 200K a month in his business, selling a fitness offer. Again, yeah, one of the most competitive industries. Soccer mindset coach, 100K a month. Fitness coach, 50K a month. Trading coach, 100K a month. He's located in Australia. A lot of these other ones are in the US. SMA coach located in Serbia, doing over 50K a month. He actually just messaged me and said he's at 95K this month. So we're about to send him another award for 100K a month. Ecuador, 50K a month. I'm not going to go through all of these because as you can see, the list, it's very long, right? Like we've sent out a lot of the awards. And the whole point I'm trying to show with this is, hey, this stuff actually works. So to be respectful of your time and mine, I want to let you know who this is for and who it's not for. This works if you're a coach, course creator, consultant, agency owner, anyone with an info product or personal brand that's trying to get more clients on Instagram. Now, this does not work if you don't want to sell your knowledge online. If that's you, just save us both the time, close this video and get out of here and go do something different. I really want to break this down. There's a big industry lie that you've been told and that you've been lied about because I fell for it as well too. Because when I started, I believed the lie. I posted every day to grow my following and I thought it was eventually going to lead to just consistent clients. You know, there's a lot of people out here that say, hey, just post every day, post 3 times a day and you'll get more clients. It's like, it's exhausting. So I did it. I did it every day for 2 years. I burnt out. I hated content and I was still stuck grinding all day just to get a bunch of low quality leads. And the frustration created what I now call the lazy funnel, a client getting system that doesn't require posting every day, doesn't require going viral, and it doesn't require being famous. Remember that one fitness coach I showed you over here? His name's Blake. He's doing over 250K a month. This guy right here. When he first started with us, he had less than 5,000 followers. Now I believe he's less than $10,000 doing over $250,000 a month. So yeah, you don't have to be famous with this. In fact, it's almost the opposite. Like it works both ways, but like if you don't have a big following, it comes across as more authentic, right? And if you do have a big following, then it comes across as, oh, you're an authority in the space. So it's a win-win for both of these. You don't have to be famous, but if you do, it definitely helps as well too. It's just the strategic way of getting more clients and scaling. So I'm going to break it down for you. The first thing and the most important, if you don't pay attention and get this down right or get this fixed, the rest of these steps aren't going to work for you. So step 1 is you have to have an offer that sells itself. If you're not closing deals consistently, 80% of the time, it's your offer. A bad offer, it doesn't matter how amazing your funnel is. It doesn't matter how amazing your ads are or how hard you work. You're trying to sell ice to Eskimos. A good offer, it's stupid for the prospect to say no. You want to make it so it feels illegal for them not to buy. that's when everything else becomes 10 times easier. So an example behind this, Tristan and Juliet, the ones I showed you over here earlier, let me see if I can find them right here. These guys, the ones in the credit repair space, they came to us doing $2K a month in credit repair, which, to be honest, credit repair behind my industry, coaching coaches on how to coach coaches, is the most saturated industry on the market. It's in the top 5. Everyone charges the same. Everyone promises the same stuff. And most people in credit repair just suck at delivering, if I'm being honest. So what we did is we rebuilt their offer into something irresistible. They scaled to $250K a month. And today they crossed over $1 million in sales. Same industry, same skills, just a different offer. They've literally made millions of dollars from just having the right offer in play, because that's the power of a good offer. It's like fuel in an engine. Bad fuel, car sputters, stalls, and it never hits speed. It breaks down. It consistently breaks down, which eventually leads you to either kicking the car, selling the car, leaving the car on the road, whatever it might be. But if you have good fuel with the same engine, now you're flying down the highway. The offer is your foundation. Without it, nothing else works. With it, even an average funnel and an average sales team can really scale, which goes into the funnel aspect, which is step 2, the lazy funnel. And as I mentioned earlier, I built this because I burnt out, actually shut down a 7-figure marketing agency because of this. And it led me to this new strategy where I call it the lazy funnel. You don't have to post content daily. You don't need to go viral, and you don't have to be famous. It's really this simple. Ads to an IG funnel with strategic content, and then you just repeat the process over and over and over. So instead of posting content, spending hours posting content all day, every day, you create 3 to 5 strategic pieces of content once a month. Tristan and Juliet, I was talking about, they actually came over to my house not too long ago. We had a VIP day. They told me they haven't touched ads in 4 months. So they created strategic content once and haven't touched ads in a while, and the thing just rinses and repeats. Pretty amazing. Every offer, every industry is different depending on your TAM, your total addressable market. But the point is, like, once you get this up, you don't have to continue working harder and harder. It's evergreen, because once you optimize this funnel once, it keeps working. It's literally evergreen. So the content you need is simple. Your story, why you're credible, proof, client wins, screenshots, belief shifting post, why the old way is broken, what the new thing is that you're promising, why your stuff is better than everybody else's, and basically how it works, what your system looks like. So I want to show you real quick just like what the actual funnel looks like. Here's a breakdown of my Instagram account. We've had this funnel optimized and broken down for a very long time right now. So you can see the bio is very simple. This is what you want to say. This is what I help people do. This is how. For me, we have a link right here. You can either have a link towards like a VSL, or you could have, hey, just DM me keyword for more information. This takes people to a VSL where it says, hey, we'll help you get this installed, and then breaks down how we help coaches scale to 100K plus months, and how we've done over $434,000 in one single month with this strategy. So once you have that down, you want to make sure, obviously, your name, your profile picture, it's relevant to who you are as a person, and you can clearly see yourself. Side note, make sure your profile picture is the same on all social medias. Then you have your highlights right here. I always like keeping it simple. Start here. This is a little bit about me. You can go through my funnel later. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I have my life, client results, about me. Side note, I haven't even updated client results in probably over a year, maybe even 2 years, and it still works. Then you have 3 pen posts here. This is where I just have case studies of, people like I was telling you about, Justin Johnson. Here's a screenshot proof. He's made over $1 million with our system. Ava, the one I was telling you about before. Sky, Tristan and Juliet, which again, this hasn't even been updated because you can see January 19th, I had them at 82K a month. They're 250K plus a month now. They're going to be doing 500K a month by the end of this year. Valentino. So it's like, you just want to have social proof. This is my story. And then here's one of our masterminds in Fort Lauderdale that we had. And then you just post content as it seems fit. So like, here's another one, a VIP day I had with one of my clients, Kat, over here. Me and my CO sat down and we just talked about it. Like, I don't have to post content much. This last post was on August 1st. Today is the end of August. So I posted literally once this entire month. And then this one over here was in July 18th. This was our Ibiza mastermind. This was when I probably posted a little bit more because I was traveling, July 6th, right? So like, you really don't have to post much on here. And the cool part is, what I'll cover a little bit more later on in this video, is like the beauty behind this, on like how my story has gotten over 1 million views without paying for fake likes or fake videos or anything. We're paying for views, but it's strategically. And that's what I'm going to show you on here is like, you'll see throughout my content, some's got like 1 million, some has like 4,000, 22,000, 293,000, 471,000, 686, 13, 18, 3. It's all very strategic. The stuff that has more views are things that I'm putting more money behind because it's making me more money. That's really how it's implemented. This is how you want to think about how the lazy funnel works and the retargeting strategy behind it, because it's not just running ads to top of funnel. If you've never seen a chart like this, top of funnel, middle funnel, bottom of funnel. Top of funnel is basically like what we do on here is the Instagram DM ads straight to your profile to start a conversation, right? We'll have call to actions here. We'll have visit my profile. We'll just have videos directing people to the top of the funnel, this is the top of the funnel right here. Middle funnel is basically like the retargeting side of stuff with this. This is where we retarget with strategic videos for literally pennies on the dollar. These are videos in the feed. So kind of like what I showed you here. This one, there's a reason it has 1 million views because it was part of the middle of funnel. Same thing over here. If I go down, where was it? Right here. This was, I believe, our Costa Rica mastermind. It was doing well. So I put a lot of money behind it. Same thing with this. And like, that's really how the middle of funnel works. I'll cover more of that and show you a little bit more of a breakdown later on in here. But then bottom of funnel is this: you push the highest intent prospects into your call to actions. This is where you're retargeting the people that are the cream de la cream, if you will, of the people that are going to be able to convert the most, right? So to do this correctly, you have to create a custom audience inside your ads manager so you can retarget middle of funnel. I'm not going to go into the how-tos and everything on this video. I'm just going to show you like I'm going to give you the 1,000-foot overview of how to do this stuff. My biggest tip for you is while you're doing this is that you want to make sure your top of funnel is only bringing in quality prospects. Again, this is the most important part of this, and where a lot of people mess up is if you get this part wrong, then the rest won't work. And then vice versa over here is if in your middle of funnel, if you're still paying for video views or fake followers or anything like that, I would recommend stopping that right away. Actually, I had a call with one of my clients who was doing that, and it was messing up the rest of everything. So you want to be organic, and it all starts with who you bring in from the top of funnel and who you bring through. It's literally a funnel. As you pour water through, you filter out certain people in here that go into your middle funnel, and then you filter out people from there that go into your bottom funnel. And the better you are with filtering, the better you're going to get with results. So make sure your top of funnel is bringing in quality prospects only. If you're too broad on top of funnel, you bring in a bunch of unqualified people, then your middle of funnel and bottom of funnel will suffer. So step 3 is simple ads that print. Here's the honest truth. Everybody overcomplicates ads. They think they need the perfect creative, Hollywood level production, or some secret hack that only the top 1% of media buyers know. And I put media buyers in quotations because anyone that can watch a course on ads can be considered a media buyer nowadays. That's wrong. Ads are just math plus messaging. If your offer is strong and your funnel is set up, ads are the gas pedal. Ads are literally just eyeballs. The one thing that I want you to keep in mind, taking notes, ads are just eyeballs. So if you publish bad looking ad, you're basically just 10xing a turd. There's a famous saying that my dad said is you can't polish a turd. And the idea was, back when I was getting my first car, we were looking at cars. I was like, oh, well, I could get this car, old beat up car, and I could put rims on, I could do all this. And he goes, son, you can't polish a turd. And that's stuck with me for the rest of my life. Is like, it's the same thing with ads. You can't polish. If you have a bad ad and you just 10x it, what's going to happen? You're just going to get more bad quality people coming through. So like, you have to be strategic with this. Like, you don't have to do Hollywood level production stuff, but like, you actually have to take time to create ads that are meaningful and strategic, which I'll cover in here on how we do that in a second. But I want to also show you just inside my ads manager and show you kind of like what I'm talking about with this. So here is inside one of my ads manager. You can see right inside this one, just under the ad side of stuff, there's some campaigns I didn't select in here because they weren't relevant, but this one spent $837,000. And I want to show you just like how simple some of these ads are, you know? And again, there's a reason I'm showing you this. So if you try copying the same ad, it doesn't work anymore. I mean, I can't stop you from trying it, but I would recommend that you be strategic and do your own stuff. Look how simple this ad is. There's simple Canva created ads that I can create 20 of these in an hour and get them up, right? You want to see another one? I'm not kidding, guys. It's really that simple. And if you want to get a little bit more strategic with it, well, then you can do carousels. And again, look how simple that is. It's not rocket science. It's really, when you simplify it, it's really simple. That's really what I got to come down to and say for you. Is like, so really what makes a good ad? It's about the copy. The copy is what makes a good ad. You could have the best video in the world, but if you don't have good copy, it's not going to convert. So I break it down into a very simple ad copy strategy. This is 7 years of ad copy broken down into ABC. That's what I call it, the ABC ad copy strategy. A stands for attention. This is like the call out or the first 3 seconds if you have a video of who you're calling out and how you're grabbing attention, right? If it doesn't grab attention, nothing else matters. B is your baseline. This is the core of the ad. This is where you break old beliefs. You show proof, you share your story, and you just promote what you do and create desire out of it. C stands for call to action, a clear direction. Tell them what you want them to do. DM you a keyword, click the link, whatever it might be. That's really it. ABC, attention, baseline, CTA. That's the ABC ad copy. So here's an example. One of my clients was actually stuck posting content every day. They were praying that something would go viral. Like they were posting 2 to 3 times every day, trying to go viral to get more clients. And they were this close to just burnout. They literally told me like, all right, if this doesn't work, I'm just shutting down my business. So what we did is we just built them a single IG DM ad using the ABC structure I showed you right here. We wrote out the script and everything, no fancy editing, no big production. All they were required to do was take their iPhone, memorize the script, and just read it as they're walking around. It's 20 seconds long. That's it. That one ad consistently books them 30 to 40 calls per week now. And the best part is they haven't touched it in over 3 months. Think about that. One ad, 30 plus calls per week, multiple 6 figures, not even just in revenue, but in cash. So here's how to implement this. If you're following along still, is start with 10 hooks, questions, bold claims, disruptive statements, call outs, whatever it might be. And then pair each hook with 3 versions of your baseline. A short story, proof, belief shift, whatever it might be, right? And then you want to just keep the CTA the same. You can always have the same CTA. So this is an easy way if you want to do like a video side of stuff. You could knock out like 30 of these very quickly. If you wanted to do just Canva images like I showed you above, you can do that as well too. What happens is when one hits, you're testing a lot here, you're just going to scale it. You're going to put that into a CBO campaign and really scale this and let the systems do its job. So I'm not going to get into scaling on here right now because, again, I just want to give you like the 1,000-foot overview of how this works. If you're needing help scaling, that's what we can definitely help out with. But ads really just don't need to be complicated, guys. They just need to run. You just need the right system to run, because here's the formula on how I made over $8 million on just one Instagram account. Simple ads plus a lazy funnel plus a strong offer equals printing money on demand. That's really it. So step 4 comes to building a real business. Now, here's the thing. You can't scale if you're the only one doing everything. Here's the structure and margins I recommend as you start scaling. Again, every business is unique. Every business is different. But as you start growing, here's some sort of constraint that you could have in your business. Setters, paying them 4 to 6% of your cash collected. Closers, anywhere between 8 and 12.5%. Client success, anywhere between 8 and 12.5%. And then ads, anywhere between 12 and 24%, depending on the season, right? Does that make sense? So simple terms, if you were to make $100,000 in cash in a month, and you put 20% of ads, you would be investing $20,000 into ads to make $100,000, right? Like that's how the margin goes into play. Now, I wouldn't recommend doing this right away. As you make more money, you unlock more levels in your business. You have more cash that you can invest into people. But like this is kind of like a simple structure of what you want to look at. And then you have your software, which is about 2% or less. And then obviously on top of this, you have your processing fees, which are usually between 2 and 3%. You know, like if you're using Stripe or WAP or something like that, usually they charge between 2 and 3%. So here's the thing you need to know. If you're keeping 80% of margins, you are not scaling. You are a freelancer who's stuck. I'll say that again. If you have 80% margins in your business, you are not scaling. You're a freelancer who's stuck. Because we need to talk about margins, because this is where most coaches screw themselves. I hear all the time people bragging about 80% margins, and it sounds sexy, but it's a marketing play. Here's the honest truth. 80% margins usually means you're doing everything yourself. I saw somewhere recently someone saying they're doing $500,000 a month with 85% margins, and they have all these clients and they only work 4 hours a week. It's not possible. And it's not possible in a very competitive market. Every industry is different, but at the end of the day, I have not found anyone successfully do that and also fulfill for their clients, because I think it's unethical if you have people paying you $10,000 plus and you're dedicating less than 4 hours a week to 100 plus clients. It's super unethical, right? Like that's the beauty of building a business like this, is because you can dip into margin to change people's lives, to hire team members and build something bigger than yourself. Because if you are doing that, let's say you are like the 0.001% of the crazy people out there that are doing 400K a month in your business and you have 80% margin. Well, here's the honest truth. You're doing everything yourself. You are working all day, every day. And that's fine if you want to go that route. But like here's the real math behind it. Imagine this. You're doing 100K a month with 80% margins. That's 80K take home. You can definitely do that. Like 100K a month and you running everything yourself, you can. You could even do that to 200K a month, realistically, but you're going to be working a lot. It sounds great until you realize you're also the setter, you're the closer, you're the coach, you're the customer support, you're the ops manager, you're the marketing department. It's not scalable. The reason you don't hear people doing this long is because it leads to burnout. How do I know? Well, because I was there. I did this. I had a 100K a month agency with about 70 to 80% margin, and I was doing everything, and it led to a burnout, which eventually leads to no money, which also eventually leads to losing money. If you burn out, you lose way more money. Shutting down a business is just as hard as creating a business. And it's just as expensive, I promise you. So at this point, you're drowning. You're exhausted. You can't scale because every new client equals more work for you. That is not a business. That is a prison with a high-paying guard salary. Now, compare that to, let's just say you go crazy and at 100K a month, you have all of this in play. Well, that'll bring you down to roughly around 55% margin, which realistically, like all of this, probably around like a 200K a month business, right? Again, it depends on what you want out of life. But let's just use that same example. Same 100K a month, you're taking home 55K. Here's the difference. You've got a setter booking calls for you, closer handling sales, a client success manager running fulfillment, ads running profitably. You wake up, all you do is check your dashboards and the machine is running without you. You maybe hop on a couple coaching calls a week. That's it. Then you scale. This is where like the freedom machine comes into play, because you can't operate correctly and see the future when you're drowning in fulfillment and drowning in marketing, and just you can't operate correctly like that. When you're operating like this from a sense of freedom and your energy levels are up and you can see clearly, you make better decisions in your business. The one I was talking about before might look better on paper, but the other one actually gives you more time, freedom, and scalability. Because I don't know about you, the reason I got into business was not to be a slave to anyone or anything. It was to have one word: freedom. High margins with no team is fragile. It's going to cost you more money in the long run. I'm just speaking from experience here. Whether you believe me or not, healthy margins with infrastructure is scalable. This business right here, with this type of margin, you can scale to $500K a month. How do I know? Because I did it. It's all possible. I'm just sharing information that I personally done. So most people are so obsessed with keeping pennies that they block themselves from ever making millions. I read this quote from somewhere. I can't remember where. And this kind of changed the game for me. I think it was right after I hit my burnout phase. And I was this person that was just wanting to keep pennies. And then I realized I was preventing myself from making millions because of my bad habits and what I saw on social media. So I want to move into step 5, which is tracking the right KPIs. Look, guys, scaling isn't complicated. Scaling is just math. And the great news is you don't have to be good at math. I was terrible at math. I was the guy in high school that would have the equations handwritten on the back of my calculator because I hated math so much, or programmed in my calculator. If you can understand 1 + 2 = 3, then you can scale money math. This whole system is built off of what I call money math. So if ads are working, double them. If your funnel is converting, feed it more. But you can't improve what you don't measure. That's why we track KPIs every single day. Leads, book calls, show rate, close rate, cash collected, ROI, cost per quality lead, quality leads, ROAS. We track every single morning. If there's only one thing you implement from this entire video, and I really mean this, if there's only one thing, start tracking your KPIs. If you can learn to track KPIs and do it the right way, that is a skill set that will pay you hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. Tracking KPIs and learning KPIs have made me millions of dollars from just this one thing. And here's like a screenshot of like one of the templates that we give our clients. We start everybody off very simply. It's, a simple tracker where you can break down the months, you can see everything on here, and it gives you the data. And then our clients give the data, they hop on the call with us or their coach, and then they tell them, hey, this is the KPI you need to optimize this month. Hey, this is looking really good. Let's spend more money here. Or hey, your close rate's a little low. Why don't you go hop on our closing call this week and see how that goes from there and see if you can learn something new. Let me see your script. Let's do this. It's like we analyze, and that's why our clients get amazing results, is because we look at KPIs. Every coach on my team, every team member understands the importance of KPIs because we go through them every single day as a team, and we also train our clients on it. So I want to give you actually a breakdown of some of the KPIs inside my business. All right, so I've got this pulled up over here, and you can see it's still loading, but I just want to get to the point on here. Again, I'm not here to make any fancy edits or do any crazy PowerPoint. I just want to give you the raw truth of like numbers and what you need to focus on. Now, this is a dashboard that we re-uploaded some of our data into, so some of it isn't 100% relevant, like applications, emails. Like we don't really focus on that right now. So those are some numbers just not to pay attention to. But like the main things I really want to show you, and we have another tracking dashboard. We use everything in Airtable, but this is just like way easier on the eye, and that's what I wanted to show you is, the basics behind this. Spending $1,500,000 on ads, generating $6,300,000 in cash, and then over $8 million. I'm not even going to get into all of it. Over $8 million in revenue. The cool part about this is the ROAS. That's basically saying whenever I put $1 into ads, I'm getting $5 in revenue back. It's a rigged lottery machine. Same thing with cash. When I put $1 in, I'm getting $4 back. Imagine if I went to Vegas and every time I put $1 on the table, I'd get $4 cash back, and then I'd have an extra dollar that I'd be getting in a week from now. That's really what this is. It's a rigged lottery machine. And what I can find out by going through here is I can look at this. Look, I just reverse engineered the math. Demo calls booked. It cost us $430 to get a high ticket call on the calendar. And you can even see on here, this is up 41% than where it should be. So like that tells me my team's being inefficient right now with some of the setting, and that's something that we're working on. Same thing with cost per call shown, $671 per call shown. And then we have a 31% close rate on here, and it's costing us $2,297 to close the deal. So let's just keep this simple. If my front end offer is $10,000 and it costs me $2,300 to get a client, well, you can do the math on that, on how much I'm making every single time I spend $2,297 on ads. So if I want to close the deal a day, I spend $2,297 a day on ads. That's where you can start spending a lot of money on ads and have it make sense, because if your emotions tied to it, nothing will ever make sense. And the real beauty behind data, and I'll be honest with you guys on kind of like where we're at on some things, is you can track everything. So like, for example, we have cost per demo call, cost per show, cost per IGDM. So we can see where spikes are inside here. And like vice versa, I can tell when I make a bad hire or when something doesn't go right. So you can see on here, this is our customer acquisition cost over time. Pretty cool, right? From the start of March 2022 to currently in August right now is $2,645, which We actually just closed a couple deals yesterday. So I checked this morning. It's around it's like 2,100 right now, something like that. Point being is like, look at this big spike right here. Most people would freak out seeing like a huge cost per acquisition cost. But the thing is, I know exactly what went wrong. We hired a done-for-you salesperson to scale our business, and they completely screwed up the sales side. So we've been in a rebuild phase to get things back, and it's really cool to see. Last month, we got things right back to where we need to be because our average cost per acquisition is $2,200, right? And in July, we were literally at $2,200. We were $40 more, which I'm fine with. And this month, I think we'll even be lower. So it's like the beauty behind this, and I think this is the other thing why I want to share these numbers with you, because anyone that just shows you an upward trend graph is lying. Business isn't like that. People make mistakes. We're all human beings. But the idea is if you can track your data and have the right data to get better results, there's no reason you can't scale. And again, this is me still getting, look how that's bad. Like, I'll be honest, that's embarrassing to have a big high spike like that. But the cool thing is I know how to fix it. And the better thing is I learned something super valuable and still made about $6-7 million off of this. So when you have the data, the sky is the limit. And then step 6 I want to share with you is really how you take this to the next level. Not a lot of people talk about this. So here's the honest truth. Most coaches stall out because they build one offer and think that's the end game. And yeah, I mean, you can hit 100K a month with one offer. I did it 3 times in a row. But here's the problem. If all of your revenue comes from one offer to one type of person, you are fragile. Kind of like what we were talking about before. Like the coach that does 100K a month and they are keeping 80-90% of the margin themselves, you're fragile. You're going to burn out. You're going to have a bad month. There's no such thing as business continuing going up and up and up. You have to build your business to be healthy. One change in the marketplace, you're screwed. I'm saying this because the marketplace is constantly changing, and this has happened to me. I'm only sharing stuff that is data and lessons that I've learned. So the next level is building a ecosystem. We call this the black box. You want to think about your business as a black box, an ecosystem that is constantly fulfilling, constantly moving people around, constantly upselling, constantly increasing your LTV, constantly giving different angles for people to get into your ecosystem. So here's what I mean. I had my front end offer dialed. We hit 100K a month, 3 months straight. I had one offer in one industry to one type of person. That was it. That was the foundation. Then I surveyed my clients and I said basically, hey, if I built a next level program, what would you want in it? And I offered them a bonus for filling it out. I can't remember what it was. We might have given out like Starbucks gift cards or something. Like a tip for this, if you're going to essentially ask your clients to fill out a survey, give them something for it. Thinking back on it, I actually released an advanced ads course that I gave everybody access to that filled out the survey. We were saying, hey, we're going to charge $2,000 for this, but if you fill out the survey, we'll give it to you for free. It was a no-brainer, right? And do you know what 92% of them said in that form? They all wanted direct access to me. Not more modules, not more theory, just access to me, to talk to me, to hear how I built this business, how I hired the right people, how I do what I do, what my daily routine's like. Just access to me because I removed myself so much from my front end program. So I built a back end ascension offer where they could upgrade for more access to me. I just built an offer what they told me they wanted. So the back end alone gave us a 92% renewal rate. No lie. Our back end offer is our most successful offer we've ever had. Why? Because we're getting people results in the front end. And then once they get results, they join our back end, they ascend, and then they continue getting results and they continue to renew over and over and over again. Now, side note, the whole part is like more access to me. As I was telling you before, if you dip into your margin correctly and you build this the right way, my ascension offer runs completely without me now. That is the beauty of building a strong foundation. You can be removed and not relied on. Whereas if you're the coach doing 100K a month and you have 80% profit margin, you can't build a team or a system that can do this, let alone have the time to do this the right way because you're so busy. When you remove yourself and you dip into margin and you do it strategically, you have more leverage in your business. And this is how my business still runs without me. This is how I have freedom inside my business. Now, when you zoom out, once you get the back end in play, you can keep stacking. You've got your front end offer, that is predictable client acquisition. You've got your back end ascension offer, which is reoccurring revenue and a higher LTV, which ultimately leads to the one thing we all want in life and business is less stress, which is a healthier business model. And then you have additional programs to solve the next problems that your clients have. Again, every business is different. Every business is more unique, but you want to start with this, going into this, and then going into this. Today, I personally have 5+ offers in my ecosystem. In my black box over here, I have 5+ different offers. And basically how it works is clients can move up as they grow and I capture way more lifetime value because we make them way more money. The old coaching model is broken of, hey, just go after PIFs, get a high ticket sale, and then don't do anything with the client after 5 to 6 months or however long you promise them. That is the most broken model that 95% of coaches are still coaching because they don't know better. They don't know how to do this successfully. For me, I paid 2 coaches, one coach $30,000 and another coach $40,000. The first coach for $30,000 promised the world of helping me build my back end offer. And guess what? They didn't, because they oversold me on a sales call and their back end offer was complete trash. The next coach I paid $40,000 to, and they taught me everything they knew. Was it perfect? No, but it was definitely enough to get mine up and going, and we learned a lot on it, right? Because the cool thing is, when you do this the right way, if you have at least 5+ clients, you can introduce your Ascension offer, like my client Leanne did. She was actually in our Ibiza mastermind, and I'll show you the picture in a second, but this is what she said. Created an alumni back-end offer on the plane ride home from Ibiza. We had a mastermind in Ibiza for our top clients, and she goes, just closed a client on our graduation call today. Easiest reoccurring I've ever made. Gonna reach out to hundreds of my alums. So stoked I got my ego out of the way on this. Thank you, Zane. Zane's one of our coaches, who also, one of our coaches who was a client. Zane was a client before a coach. That's how all of my coaches are. She actually joined my accelerator program, and then immediately upgraded to Elite, our Ascension offer, where we host quarterly masterminds. This was actually in Ibiza, and we're telling her about how to do the mastermind. Like at these masterminds, we present things that are working. We update our clients every quarter on things that we're working on and things that are working, things aren't working. We're very transparent with our numbers. So if you think like me going through here and going to these numbers was transparent, these masterminds are way, way next level. This one was in Ibiza, and she literally created her back-end offer on her flight home and then sold it. And I wanted to just put this in here because I think the masterminds are one of the coolest parts about our business and what clients get so excited for. Again, this is on our Ascension offer from here, but we had one this one was in Mykonos. This one was in Costa Rica. This was in the Bahamas. This was in Ibiza, which is the most recent one. And then this one was in Fort Lauderdale. This one, we open up some here and there to all of our clients. And this was one, like the first one we opened up to all of our clients that came through. I think we had ended up being over 40 people there. And then the Ibiza was our biggest one international. We had 25 clients there. It was insane. It was so much fun. But this is a secret that they don't want you to know. One offer gets you to 6 figures. An ecosystem gets you to 7 and 8. And if you don't start building it early, you'll always be rebuilding from scratch, while the people who did build ecosystems are stacking renewals and compounding their revenue. So at this point, you really have 2 options. Option 1, you can take everything I've shown you today, the offer framework, the lazy funnel, the KPI tracking, the ecosystem strategy, and you go figure it out on your own. Will it work? Yeah, without a doubt. That's why I showed you guys this information, because I wanted you to be able to understand it and go implement it. But it'll take you years. That's the honest truth. You'll spend hundreds of thousands of dollars testing, like I did, tweaking and burning cash before you get it right. So option 2 is for the people that want to just shortcut the process and work with me and my team to install the system we've already built, tested, and proven to generate over $8 million. That's our own money. That's not even including our clients as well. The ones I was showing you earlier with all these awards. I'm not going to go through all this. If we're at this point in the video and you don't believe me that this system works for all these 150K awards that we've been sending out, I mean, just on here, and this hasn't even been updated in a while, that's 37 just right here for 50 and 100K a month awards. So if that's you and you want to shortcut the learning curve and you want to work with us or have us do some of this stuff for you, we have a couple different options depending on where you're at and what you need. Here's what would happen next. We don't just sell a course. Selling courses is back in 2018, 19 type of stuff. We don't do that. Why? Because I don't buy courses. I would put you through something that I would want to go through. We built this so it'd be something that I'd want to go through. After spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on different courses, I took the best of the best and put into how I wanted to build this foundation and structure inside our business. So you're getting plugged into an actual system, and it's been proven with over 2,000 plus clients. That's not even showing inside the Share Your Wins inside our community side of stuff, which while we're here, I'll just go ahead and pull it up for you so you can just see. Again, I haven't even checked this today, but you can see clients are always closing deals in here. Signed up my third elite, $700,000 in cash collected, $2,400 close. I mean, this is all within 2 days, 50K, another closed deal, 3K PIF. Nate started with literally zero. He's made over $500,000 with us. Here's Alexa, the guy I was telling you about earlier that's in Serbia. And we sent him an award for generating over $1 million, 22x ROAS on ads. Again, I'm not going to go through all this, but the point being is we've done this for a lot of clients. So here's some of the things we'll do is we'll build your ads with you, copy creative targeting, so you have campaigns that actually work, not trial and error. I mean, imagine if you just came through and we just built your ads for you based off of millions and millions of dollars of ads spent on our own and analyzing millions and millions of dollars of our clients. How fast would that get your ads profitable for you? We'll install our client acquisition funnel, the exact one that's pulled in over $8 million, so you have predictable leads without posting every day. You don't have to guess on which funnel is going to work. We know what works and what doesn't work. We'll give you our financial operating system so you know how to manage margin the right way. You know exactly where every dollar goes, from ad spend to commission to understanding the entire margin, because scaling becomes math, not guessing. One of the things I think a lot of people mess up with when it comes to building a business is really understanding the financial side of stuff. And again, I'm speaking from experience. My first business that I hit burnout, I didn't understand that stuff. So what I do? I went and learned it. I hired coaches. I hired courses. I paid for courses. I bought books. I built our own financial operating system that continues to allow me to generate millions of dollars with this. We'll refine your offer until it can convert cold traffic, because if it doesn't work on strangers, it won't scale. This is a really big thing. A lot of clients come to us and they can close organic deals, people that are referrals, people that are already in their ecosystem, but tapping into cold traffic is an entire different beast. And we've been doing it for 7 years now. So we'll help you shortcut that learning curve and get stuff working right away. You'll get direct access to me and my executive team, closers, setters, operators, who've already built multiple 6 and 7 figure businesses. They'll either train your people. If you have a team, we can train your team, or step in and do it with you. We have, again, multiple different options, again, depending on what you need, what you want. The best part is, like, we don't just hand you a system and leave. We actually work alongside you week after week, making sure everything's installed, running, it's optimized until the machine works without you. And again, depending on what program you're in, but our medium program has over 10 calls where you can get office hour support every single week. You also get access one-on-one to a coach. And every coach on my team has been there. They've done that. There's also ways to get access to me, to my COO, my executive team. There's a lot of different packages, as I was explaining, that we have, but everything we do is a 100% custom to you and your business. And that's why we can guarantee an ROI. If you don't get it within 90 days, we will work with you one-on-one until you do. So if you want to shortcut years of trial and error and finally have a scalable client acquisition system that runs on autopilot and have an entire backend that stacks recurring revenue, then I'll leave a link right below this video where you can just book a call. And again, like I said, this call is going to be to figure out where you're at in your business and come up with a custom game plan for you and your business. We're different than every other coach out there. I promise you that. Why? How do I know that? Because I've been through a majority of the programs. I've interviewed my clients that's been through all the programs. We built this to be custom for you. So depending on where you're at, maybe you're somebody that has a lot of cash on the side and you're ready to just jump into ads and have a big budget. Cool. We've got you covered. Maybe you're someone that, you're just getting started and finances are a little bit tight and you don't have a lot of money to put in a coaching program. I get it. I've been there. I started my business with $0 in my name. I actually went $36,000 in debt to invest into coaches, mentors, and programs. So I get it. I've been there, and I want you to know, we've built this for the right type of people to come through to be custom fit for you. So if this sounds like something you might be interested in, go ahead and just click the link down below, book a call with my team, and we'll see if it makes sense. And worst case scenario, at least you'll leave the call with a blueprint. Best case scenario, we end up working together and you become like one of my clients over here who we send an award to for hitting 50 to 100 to $1 million inside their business. So link will be down below, and excited to see if we might be able to do business together.